So here on the midheaven is Pluto. And Pluto is the power of transformation. And then you have on the ascendant, Taurus rising with Uranus very close to the ascendant. And that gives you the power of enlightenment. And these two energies of Pluto and Uranus bring about change in the collective experience of those participating in it. And since you're going to essentially be internet based, Uranus rules the internet. That's a good energy to have rising in the 12th house of spirituality. Okay, so then up in the 10th house, up in the top, you have Saturn, Jupiter, and Mercury, all in Aquarius up there. The 10th house is the house of professional purpose, to organize a business and have it be successful is often a good manifestation of Saturn in that 10th house, because it's about focusing on being committed to achieving what you have strategically set out in front of you that you want to accomplish, and define the reality through which you are working. Now, Saturn's also in a trine to Mars, and Mars gives the physical kinetic energy motivation to do things. Because it's in Gemini, it's partly communicative, but because it's in that trine to Saturn, it's purpose driven. So that the conversation or the communication that you're effectively getting out there is only part of the process, because it will lead to things getting accomplished that have to do with helping those who are lost to define their energetic purpose in life. Does that fit with what you're leaning towards?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Now the fun part. Over here in the 11th house, we have Venus at 20 degrees, Neptune at 20 degrees, the sun at 23 degrees, and the moon at 26 degrees. Now I chose this time. It was close to the time you said you wanted to do this, 9 o'clock a.m., but at 8,
yeah, 9 o'clock Pacific time, if we can, give or take. Yeah.
This is 8:30.
Perfect. Perfect.
8:30 puts Pluto on the midheaven, Uranus on the ascendant, and it gives the moon that last connection in a sextile to Pluto before it goes void of course. You don't want to really start things on a void of course moon, because it kind of dissipates the energy, especially with moon in Pisces. It's not connecting to anything until it moves into the next sign, where it gets a resurgence of energy by moving into Aries. But this is perfect, because the moon sextile Pluto says that when you make a connection with people, which is the moon, the object of that connection is to help them transform through that Pluto energy. And it's in Capricorn with a sense of purpose. And it's in the sextile to the moon in Pisces, which gives you the understanding by which to help them motivate to transcend the limitations of their physical reality. Because we know, being Pisces, that there is so many more dimensions to the spirit than the physical reality that we're mundanely having to deal with. Okay. Okay, so the excellence of this combination, the fact that Venus is the ruler of the Taurus rising and it conjoins Neptune, which is only 3 degrees away from the sun, is that the material, spiritual, and emotional vibrations are all unified in the effort to help a collective of people unify their spiritual identities and ascend on a spiritual dimension. Because after the year that we've been through, people need to understand that it's not just about the physical reality that we're living in, that we have a higher cause and a higher purpose as spiritual individuals. Now, right under that moon, there's a little hook with a cross. You see that in green? It's called Ceres. And then there's this little K with a circle underneath. That's Chiron. Okay, so Ceres is about nurturing and caregiving. It's the largest asteroid in the asteroid belt. It's comforting and nurturing growth, you know, feeding and housing and cleansing and all that, taking care of people. And what you're taking care of with Chiron there is healing the wounds that have been chronic for a long time for so many people, whether they are familial or emotional. And shut up. Hold on 1 second. Hello? Nope, I'm doing a reading. I'll call you back. Yeah, I knew it. Okay, so this healing energy is one that goes deep, because for a person like you play the role of the mentor, the teacher, and the healer, guiding people on a pathway that will help them fix the broken parts on the spiritual level. And let's see, that at 7, almost 8 degrees, they are exact. Look at that. They are both 7 degrees and 56 minutes. That's pretty awesome. And then in sextile to that position, you have Saturn in Aquarius, which says that you've got humanitarian work to do, and Mars in Gemini, which is the drive to communicate with these people and kind of wake them up so that they do something to alter the trajectory of their material lives and direct it into something that is higher, planed in terms of consciousness. And all that stuff in Pisces is that spiritual, metaphysical, sometimes musical, inspirational energy that you are contributing to society. What I also like about this is the Gemini rising is very close to the North Node in Gemini, which means this is your year to communicate and to get your ideas out there that have the power to alter people's perspective, because not everybody sees the larger picture, the greater truth. They often don't even understand themselves, and they are reflecting the energy of what they are experiencing and responding to. And that doesn't allow them to be true to who they are as individuals. So your challenge is essentially to help people understand and connect with their true identity, which is a more spiritual vibration that is part of the unity of consciousness that is the higher vibration of humanity. Okay.
So, in summary, this is a good year to be launching Soul's Enterprise.
Yes. And if you notice the Aquarius planets, Saturn, Mercury, and Jupiter, all right here, and Venus, 4 planets, plus this little diamond shape with the cross underneath, Pallas Athene. Well, Pallas Athene is the pattern recognition and also the diplomacy, wisdom, and tactfulness that it takes to connect with people who may be very different than you, but they still can benefit by what you're sharing. And Mercury conjoining Jupiter is one of the best aspects for somebody who is teaching or broadcasting or putting out
Facilitating.
Huh?
Facilitating.
Facilitating even more than that. It's offering a new perspective for people to see a broader sense of reality. Reality factor is Saturn, which is also conjoining Mercury as well. So you're teaching about a higher reality in a sense. Okay, like that? Good. And I love the fact that Neptune, which rules the midheaven, is in the 10th house, indicating that, well, if you were a musician, for example, you would be playing music professionally. If you are in a spiritual field, you are inspiring people to help them transcend professionally. So now, let's take a look at Karuna for the same place. And there it is, and it's the nearest one. And so Karuna has the moon ruling the Cancer midheaven, and it's in Leo, which means Karuna, in a way, you have to take a leadership role in this too. It's like you are maybe responsible for making some of those connections, especially with women that really need to get that guidance. See, because look, here we have the moon in opposition to Saturn, and an opposition plays out through associations and relationships. And one of the
Sheldon, we lost you. Say that again. Here we have the moon. What?
moon is opposite. Oh, the internet connection is unstable. I don't know if that's you or me, but it might be me. Okay, so the moon is opposite Saturn. This is very much the feminine goddess energy of the moon versus the patriarchy and rigid structures of the male authoritarian domination of the past or the history or the old traditions, right? Any plans for kids? Okay.
Souls Enterprise is our baby.
Our baby's birthing on March 13th at 6:30 a.m. Pacific time. Please be there.
Well, well, the thing is, Jupiter in the fifth house is a very wonderful experience when it comes to having a child. In this respect, your enterprise. And because it's 0 degrees Pisces, Pisces is the sign of the spirit. So a spiritual enterprise that is your baby is what looks to be very positive, because Pisces has, Jupiter in Pisces has a very old affinity because it used to rule Pisces before Neptune was discovered in the 1800s. So it's a good sign. And it's in a good sign. It's a good sign that's in a good sign.